What if tonight, when you fall asleep, your entire life quietly disappears? Not your house, not the world, not the people around you, just your memories, your name, your past, the faces you love, erased. And tomorrow morning, you wake up inside a life you don't remember living. Would you still be you? Or just a stranger wearing your own face? You wake up, suddenly, not gently. Your eyes open, but something feels wrong. The ceiling above you doesn't look familiar. The room is too quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your chest feel heavy. For a second you wonder, did I wake up in the wrong place? Or was I brought here? You get out of bed and walk toward a mirror. A face looks back at you. It isn't scary, but it isn't yours. You stare at it. The eyes blink when you blink. The mouth moves when you move. But there's nothing there. No connection. No sense that this face belongs to you. You don't know who this person is. Suddenly your phone lights up. One notification turns into dozens. Messages, missed calls, photos, voice notes, names fill the screen, but none of them mean anything to you. One message says, "Good morning, heart." Another says, "Don't forget what we talked about last night." Your heart starts racing. Who are these people? Why do they know you? Why do they expect you to remember a life you never lived? You open your contacts, hundreds of names. None of them feel real. Then you see your own name. You read it again and again. It feels like reading a stranger's name in a book. It looks familiar, but it means nothing. You say it out loud. It doesn't feel like you. You look around the room, clothes in the closet, shoes by the door, photos on the wall. They all point to a life, but not one you remember living. This place doesn't feel like home. It feels like a hotel room, somewhere you woke up without knowing how you got there or how long you're supposed to stay. And then it hits you. This isn't a bad morning. This isn't confusion. This is real. Every single night, your memories disappear. And every single morning, you start again, from zero. At first, society wouldn't panic. Humans look for patterns. And when something breaks, we try to fix it. People would start preparing for the morning. Before going to sleep, they'd write notes to themselves. Long notes, careful notes. Notebooks would sit next to every bed. Phones would be filled with reminders. Voice recordings would become survival tools. Walls would be covered in handwritten messages. This is your house. You live here. Do not leave. Photos would be taped next to doors. Labels would appear everywhere. This is the bathroom. This is your bedroom. This is your job. And everywhere, one sentence would appear again and again. You are safe. At first, it would feel like a solution. People would wake up, read their notes, and slowly piece together who they were supposed to be. They'd follow instructions like a manual, step by step, trying to replace memory with information. But something would still be missing. Because memory isn't just facts. It's emotion, it's connection. And that's where everything would start to fall apart. Relationships would break first. Imagine waking up next to someone who says they love you, but you don't recognize their face. They tell you they're your partner. They show you photos, years of smiles, trips, moments you don't remember. To you, they're just a stranger standing too close. Love wouldn't last longer than a day. Every night it would disappear, and every morning it would have to begin again, from nothing. Some people would try. They'd fall in love with the same person, again and again, every single day. Others wouldn't be able to, because love needs history, shared memories, trust built over time. Without memory, love becomes fragile. Friendships wouldn't survive either. Inside jokes would mean nothing. Promises would vanish overnight. You'd meet your best friend again, for the first time, every single day. And then there are arguments. Disagreements would never end, because no one remembers what was said yesterday. No one remembers apologies. No one remembers forgiveness. Every fight would feel new. Every wound would reopen, again and again. Slowly, people would stop trying, stop explaining, stop connecting, stop caring. Because building relationships in a world without memory would feel like pouring water into a broken cup. Soon the damage wouldn't stay personal, it would spread everywhere. Schools would be the first to collapse, because learning depends on memory. A child could study all day, read books, solve problems, learn new ideas, and by the next morning, it would all be gone. Teachers would teach the same lesson every single day. Students would ask the same questions every single morning. There would be no progress, no forward motion, no growth. Exams would lose their meaning. Grades would become pointless. Because education isn't just information, it's remembering and building on what you learned yesterday. Without memory, knowledge resets to zero. Then jobs would begin to disappear. Experience would no longer matter. A surgeon might save a life today and forget everything by tomorrow. A pilot could fly perfectly one day and wake up with no idea how to control a plane. No one could be trusted with responsibility. Every morning, everyone would be a beginner. Training would never end. Mistakes would repeat forever. Entire professions would vanish. Doctors, engineers, scientists, leaders. Because these roles don't rely on talent alone. They rely on years of remembered experience. As systems collapse, the world would begin to slow down. Cities would feel frozen in time. Technology would stop advancing. Innovation would disappear. Nothing new would be created, because creation depends on memory of the past. Every morning, the world would feel like it had just begun. The sun would rise, people would wake up, streets would fill again. But beneath the surface, everything would already be broken. A civilization that wakes up every day without remembering how it was built couldn't survive for long. But here's the most disturbing part of all. Pain would fade. Every night it would disappear. Trauma, loss, regret, all of it would be erased while you sleep. The memories of heartbreak, the moments that hurt the most, the experiences you wish you could forget, gone by morning. At first, this would sound like a gift. No more sleepless nights, no more emotional scars, no more reliving the worst moments of your life. Every day would begin clean, untouched, free from pain. It sounds peaceful, almost perfect. But slowly, something important would disappear, because pain has a purpose. Pain teaches us what went wrong. It warns us what to avoid. It shapes the choices we make. Without memory, pain can't guide you. You could touch fire today, feel the burn, and tomorrow, do it again. Because the lesson vanishes with the memory. Without remembering loss, you wouldn't learn to protect what you love. Without remembering regret, you wouldn't change your behavior. Without remembering mistakes, you'd be trapped repeating them forever. Growth would stop. You could never improve, never mature, never become wiser. Every day you'd be the same person you were yesterday, because yesterday no longer exists. In a world without memory, there is no progress, only repetition. Every day you would meet your family for the first time, the people who raised you, the people who stood by you, the people who love you the most. They would smile at you with familiar warmth, while you look back at them with polite confusion. They'd tell you stories about your childhood, moments you shared, sacrifices they made, but to you, they'd sound like stories from someone else's life. You wouldn't remember the hugs, the laughter, the hard days you survived together. And every night, those people would disappear again, only to return as strangers the next morning. Now imagine love. Every day you'd fall in love for the first time. The excitement, the connection, the feeling that this person truly matters. In just a few hours, you'd build something beautiful. Shared smiles, long conversations, hands brushing in the dark. And then night would come. You'd fall asleep, and by morning, it would all be gone. The person you loved would still be there, but the love itself would be erased. Every single night, you would lose the most important thing in your life, without even knowing it. Over time, life would stop feeling meaningful. Not because happiness doesn't exist, but because it can't last. Moments would have no past. Relationships would have no depth. Joy would have no roots. Because meaning isn't created in a moment. Meaning is built over time. Through shared memories, through experiences that stay with us. And in a world where memory fades every night, meaning fades with it. So tonight, when you lie down in your bed and close your eyes for the day, take a moment. Remember your name. Remember who you are. Remember the people who love you and the moments you've shared with them. Remember your past, even the mistakes you wish you could forget, because tonight, you still can. Hold on to it, because these memories are more than passing thoughts. They are your story, the moments that shaped you, the people who made you laugh, cry, and grow. Your memories carry your pain and your joy. They hold your failures and your triumphs. They give life depth, meaning, connection. Without them, you would still exist, but you wouldn't truly be. Memories are not just what we remember. They are the threads that weave your identity, the bridge between yesterday and today, the reason you can love, learn, and hope for tomorrow. So tonight, as you drift into sleep and dream of the day that's past, cherish those thoughts. Because your memories, your stories, your life are what make you human. And that is something no one, not even time, can ever take away. But here's something to think about. If your memories were erased tonight, who would you trust tomorrow? What would matter to you? Would you fall in love with the same person again? Would you choose the same friends, the same dreams, the same life? Or would you build something completely different? How much of who you are is choice, and how much of it is memory? If pain teaches us and joy shapes us, then who would you be without the lessons you've lived through? Maybe the real question isn't, what if memories faded every night? Maybe the real question is, if they didn't, what are you doing with the ones you still have? If this made you think, or made you look at your own life a little differently, take a second to like this video. It helps more people discover these ideas. Share it with someone you never want to forget. And if you enjoy exploring the psychology behind who we are, subscribe, because there's so much more about the human mind we haven't uncovered yet. I'll see you in the next one.